Have you ever wondered why some men radiate a quiet power that draws people in, while others seem constantly restless, distracted, and drained? The answer lies in something both ancient and timeless: the mastery of sexual energy through Stoic philosophy. Welcome to this documentary. Today, we'll uncover how the wisdom of Stoicism, practiced by great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, can guide us to master desire, control sexual energy, and use it as a force for attraction, discipline, and personal growth. This is not a story of suppression or denial. Instead, it is about transformation. Sexual energy, when left uncontrolled, becomes a source of chaos, frustration, and weakness. But when mastered through Stoic principles, it becomes a driving force for creativity, confidence, and unshakable presence. The ancient roots of Stoicism. Stoicism began in Athens, over 2,000 years ago, with a philosopher named Zeno of Citium. But it was in Rome where Stoicism reached its height, influencing emperors, soldiers, and statesmen. At its core, Stoicism is about living in alignment with nature, mastering one's emotions, and cultivating virtue. To the Stoics, life was a constant test. Desires, fears, and external circumstances were seen as waves of fortune. A Stoic did not fight these waves blindly. Instead, he learned to ride them with composure and wisdom. And when it came to sexual desire, Stoics were clear: it is natural, but it must not be your master. Why sexual energy matters. The Stoics observed what modern science has also confirmed: human beings are profoundly driven by sexual energy. It influences our thoughts, our ambitions, and our interactions. When uncontrolled, this energy leads to impulsive decisions, broken focus, and regret. But when guided, it fuels determination, creativity, and presence. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-philosopher, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In the context of sexual energy, this means, if your urges command you, then you are not truly free. But if you can command your urges, then you unlock a level of power that few ever experience. The modern problem. Today, the challenge of sexual discipline is greater than ever before. Ancient men faced temptations in their daily lives, but modern men face an endless stream of digital distractions, social media, dating apps, and above all, instant gratification through explicit content. Never before has desire been so easily triggered, and never before has self-mastery been so rare. Many men wonder why they lack energy, confidence, or purpose. The answer often lies in the daily leak of sexual energy through uncontrolled habits. Stoicism offers a remedy, not through repression, but through discipline and transformation. The Stoic view on desire. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest Stoics, wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Applied to sexual energy, this means that much of our struggle comes not from reality, but from the imagination we feed. Desire grows when it is indulged without purpose. But when it is acknowledged, accepted, and redirected, it becomes fuel for a greater life. Transition to practical guidance. In this episode, we'll explore how the Stoics understood sexual desire, why modern men must reclaim their energy, practical techniques to control and redirect urges, tricks to build attraction and presence through self-mastery, and finally, how this discipline can transform relationships, giving men a foundation of strength and calmness that women instinctively respect. So let's begin by understanding the true power of sexual energy, and how the Stoics would approach it in today's modern world. Sexual energy is not just about intimacy. It is the very life force that drives ambition, creativity, and vitality. Every great civilization, from the Greeks to the Romans, from Eastern mystics to Western thinkers, recognized that sexual energy, when harnessed, could transform ordinary men into extraordinary leaders. The Stoics, though not as mystical as some traditions, understood this truth in practical terms. To them, sexual desire was natural, but it had to be governed by reason. Left unchecked, it enslaved a man. Guided with wisdom, it gave him clarity, power, and discipline. The nature of sexual energy. Modern science explains what the Stoics observed centuries ago: sexual energy is deeply tied to hormones, particularly testosterone. It influences motivation, confidence, aggression, and drive. When this energy is wasted recklessly, through indulgence, addiction, or uncontrolled desire, a man becomes weak, distracted, and restless. But when conserved and redirected, he stands taller, speaks with confidence, and radiates an aura of control. This is why women often sense when a man has discipline over himself. It is not just physical, it is energetic. A man who can master his impulses carries himself differently, and people notice. The trap of modern men. In ancient Rome, temptations existed, but they were limited to the physical world. A man had to leave his home, interact with people, and face real consequences. But in today's digital age, temptation follows men everywhere. With a single click, desire can be triggered and satisfied artificially. The problem is not desire itself, it is the endless indulgence without purpose. Millions of men today struggle with low confidence, lack of motivation, and anxiety. They chase instant pleasure but pay with long-term weakness. The Stoics would see this as a tragic misuse of life's greatest force. Stoic diagnosis of desire. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor of Rome, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Applied here, it means, you may not control when desire arises, but you always control your response. A Stoic does not panic when urges appear. He does not hate them, nor does he worship them. Instead, he acknowledges the feeling, accepts it as natural, and chooses how to act. This separation between stimulus and response is the very heart of Stoic strength. Why self-mastery creates attraction. Consider two men. The first is constantly chasing women, chasing pleasure, always desperate for validation. His energy leaks through every glance, every word, every action. People sense his neediness. The second man feels desire, but he does not let it rule him. He maintains his focus, his calmness, his mission. He is not in a hurry. He is not desperate. He is grounded. Which man do you think women respect more? Which man radiates power? The answer is obvious. True attraction begins with self-control. The energy shift. When men stop leaking their energy through endless indulgence, something shifts inside them. They feel stronger, their voice deepens, their eyes sharpen. Their mind becomes clearer. This is not magic, it is biology, psychology, and discipline combined. The Stoics would say, when you stop being a slave to your impulses, you stop being a slave to the world. The modern battlefield. Today, the battlefield is not in the streets of Rome but in the digital world, on screens, apps, and endless distractions. The enemy is not an army, but a quiet addiction, instant gratification. And the weapon to fight back is the same one Stoics used 2,000 years ago: reason, discipline, and virtue. Transition to solutions. In the next part, we will uncover the Stoic techniques that help men take command of their sexual energy. Simple mental reframing strategies. Breathing practices to control urges. Tricks to redirect desire into confidence and focus. And daily habits that build the aura of a high-value man. Remember, sexual energy is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. If you learn how to command it, the Stoics were practical men. They did not waste time on abstract theories. Their philosophy was designed for action, for daily life, for the battlefield, for the marketplace. And when it comes to controlling sexual energy, Stoicism offers several powerful tools. 1. Awareness before action. The first Stoic trick is awareness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Every urge, every impulse, every flicker of desire is an event. The Stoic does not fight it blindly. He observes it. When you feel desire rise, pause. Name it. Say to yourself, this is desire. This is not me. This is just a feeling. By naming it, you separate yourself from it. You become the commander, not the servant. This small pause is powerful. It interrupts the automatic cycle of stimulus and reaction. 2. Reframing desire. The Stoics often used a technique called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They would imagine the consequences of giving in to temptation. When you feel the urge to indulge recklessly, ask yourself, how will I feel an hour from now? Will this make me stronger or weaker? Will I respect myself tomorrow morning? By imagining the after effects, you strip desire of its illusion. It no longer shines as something irresistible, it is revealed as a trick of the mind. This reframing makes self-control easier, because you see the truth instead of the fantasy. 3. Breathing as a weapon. The Stoics practiced calmness under pressure, and one of the simplest tools was the breath. Modern science confirms this. Deep, controlled breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calming urges and restoring balance. When temptation hits, try this. Breathe in deeply for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly for 6 to 8 seconds. Do this 3 times. The urge loses its grip. Your reason regains control. The Stoics would call this using nature against itself, a natural impulse, breathing, to counter another natural impulse, desire. 4. Redirection of energy. Energy cannot be destroyed, but it can be redirected. The Stoics believed in turning passions into productive action. Seneca wrote, "The mind must be given relaxation, it will rise improved and sharper after a rest." Instead of indulging in destructive habits, redirect the same energy into a workout, to build strength. Creative work, to build legacy. Study, to build wisdom. Every time you channel energy into growth, you reinforce self-mastery. 5. The power of delayed gratification. Stoicism teaches patience. Not everything must be satisfied instantly. When desire comes, delay. Tell yourself, not now. If it still matters in 24 hours, I will reconsider. This delay breaks the cycle of impulsive living. Often, you will discover the desire fades, and your discipline grows stronger. This is the same principle used by modern psychology in the famous marshmallow test, where children who delayed gratification became more successful in life. The Stoics knew this truth long before science confirmed it. 6. Building presence and aura. Here is a secret: women are not only drawn to physical appearance, they are drawn to energy. A man who controls his sexual energy radiates presence. His eye contact is steady. His voice is calm. His movements are deliberate. The Stoics practiced ataraxia, a state of unshakable calmness. When you embody this calmness, you send a powerful signal: I am in control. I am not desperate. I choose. This is magnetic. It is attractive without words. 7. Daily Stoic habits for discipline. Self-mastery is not built in one moment, it is built daily. Some practical habits you can use. Morning reflection: start your day with a Stoic meditation. Ask, what challenges will I face today, and how will I meet them? Evening review: before sleep, reflect, where did I succeed in controlling myself? Where did I fail? What can I do better tomorrow? Physical training: the Stoics valued strength. Exercise not only builds the body, but also teaches discipline. Cold showers or discomfort training: train yourself to accept discomfort. If you can withstand discomfort, you can withstand desire. 8. The Stoic secret of control. Epictetus taught that freedom comes from focusing only on what is within your control. You cannot control when desire arises. But you can always control your response. The more you practice this, the more confident you become. And confidence, real, grounded confidence, is what women find irresistible. Transition to relationships. Now that we have learned the practical Stoic techniques to master sexual energy and redirect it into strength, we must ask, how does this affect relationships? Can Stoic self-mastery make you not just a stronger individual, but also a stronger partner? In the next part, we will explore how sexual discipline transforms relationships, builds respect, and creates a foundation for lasting attraction. Love, intimacy, and relationships have always been central to human life. But here is a truth the Stoics understood: without discipline, love turns into chaos, and desire becomes a chain rather than freedom. The goal of Stoicism was not to kill passion, but to guide it wisely. For the Stoics, sexual energy and relationships were to be approached with balance, respect, and reason. The Stoic view of love. The Roman philosopher Seneca once wrote, "Love in its essence is spiritual fire." To the Stoics, love was not just about pleasure or lust, it was about connection, companionship, and shared virtue. This is important because modern culture often treats relationships as transactions. People chase physical gratification without deeper meaning. The Stoics rejected this shallow approach. They believed true love was rooted in mutual respect, virtue, and character. Why self-mastery builds respect? Think of a man who is constantly ruled by his desires. He becomes clingy, jealous, insecure. He seeks validation through attention and intimacy. Over time, his partner loses respect for him. Now think of a Stoic man. He feels desire, but he is not controlled by it. He enjoys intimacy, but he does not depend on it for his sense of worth. He remains grounded, calm, and focused on his purpose. This type of man commands respect, not through fear, but through stability. His partner knows he is strong, not desperate. Women instinctively admire this quality, because it signals strength, leadership, and trustworthiness. The role of sexual discipline in relationships. Many modern relationships fail because men allow desire to dominate them. They chase constant pleasure, they become impatient, and they lose sight of the bigger picture. Stoicism offers a remedy: sexual discipline within relationships. This does not mean coldness or distance. It means approaching intimacy with presence and control. Instead of rushing to satisfy an impulse, the Stoic man remains calm, deliberate, and intentional. This calmness creates deeper intimacy, because his partner feels chosen, not used. The balance between desire and virtue. The Stoics warned against extremes. Complete suppression of desire leads to frustration and bitterness. Complete indulgence leads to weakness and dependency. The wise path lies in balance, using desire as a spark for intimacy, creativity, and connection, without letting it dominate the soul. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is a slave to his body." In relationships, this means, if you live only for pleasure, you lose freedom. But if you use pleasure with wisdom, you gain strength. How women respond to Stoic men. A woman's deepest attraction is not to physical beauty alone, but to the energy and presence a man carries. When a man is controlled by desire, she senses it. His energy feels needy. When a man is in control of desire, she senses that too. His energy feels strong, deliberate, and magnetic. This is why many women are drawn to men who radiate calmness and self-control. It is not just what he says, but what he embodies. Stoic rules for intimacy. Here are 3 Stoic-inspired principles that guide intimacy in relationships. Respect the person, not just the pleasure. Intimacy should never be about using someone for gratification. The Stoics believed every person was a rational being deserving of dignity. Treating intimacy as sacred deepens trust and connection. Be present in the moment. A Stoic does not let his mind wander during intimacy. He is fully present, focused, and connected. This presence creates deeper bonding than physical pleasure alone. Do not depend on it for happiness. The Stoics taught that happiness comes from within, not from external things. A Stoic man enjoys intimacy, but he does not depend on it for his sense of worth or identity. Relationships built on Stoic strength. Imagine a relationship where the man is calm, disciplined, and focused. He does not chase pleasure desperately. He is not insecure when challenges arise. He communicates with clarity, leads with stability, and loves with depth. This type of relationship is resilient. Attraction lasts longer. Respect grows deeper. Intimacy becomes richer. Now imagine the opposite, a man who is always restless, insecure, desperate for validation. His relationship is built on fragile ground. The smallest storm shakes it apart. The difference lies in Stoic strength. Transition to conclusion. We have explored how Stoic wisdom transforms desire, how it builds attraction, and how it strengthens relationships. But now we arrive at the final question: what does all this mean for the modern man? How can we put these lessons into daily practice to live a life of strength, confidence, and unshakable calmness? In the final part of this episode, we will bring everything together: the philosophy, the science, the practical tricks, and leave you with a roadmap for mastering sexual energy the Stoic way. We began this journey with a simple question: why do some men radiate quiet strength while others live in constant distraction and weakness? The answer, as we discovered, lies in the mastery of sexual energy through Stoic philosophy. For the Stoics, the challenge of desire was not something to run away from, nor something to surrender to. It was a force to be understood, controlled, and redirected. And when harnessed, it became one of the most powerful allies in a man's pursuit of greatness. Recap of the journey. Let us recall the key lessons from this episode. Sexual energy is life force. When wasted recklessly, it weakens. When mastered, it strengthens. Modern men face unique challenges. Digital temptations, instant gratification, and endless distractions test discipline daily. The Stoic answer is mastery, not suppression. Acknowledge desire, but do not be ruled by it. Practical tools exist. Awareness, reframing, breathing, redirection, delayed gratification, daily habits, all help build self-control. Attraction begins with self-mastery. Women respect and admire men who are grounded, calm, and disciplined. Relationships thrive on Stoic strength. Intimacy becomes deeper when approached with respect, presence, and balance. The roadmap for modern men. If you wish to live as a Stoic man who masters his sexual energy, follow this roadmap. Daily awareness. Begin each morning with reflection. What challenges might I face today? How will I respond with strength? End each night with review. Where did I succeed? Where must I improve? Control the imagination. Remember Seneca's words: we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Do not feed fantasies that weaken you. Guard your mind. Discipline the body, exercise, cold showers, fasting. Train your body to obey reason, not impulse. Redirect energy. Every time desire rises, channel it into your mission. Write, build, create, lead. Transform passion into progress. Practice presence, whether in solitude or intimacy. Be fully present. A Stoic mind does not wander, it stands firm in the moment. Live by virtue. Remember, for the Stoics, the highest good is virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Sexual mastery is not the end goal, but a part of the greater pursuit of living with virtue. The promise of mastery. What happens when you live this way? Your energy changes. Your posture, your eyes, your voice, your confidence, they all shift. You no longer chase validation, you embody strength. You no longer beg for respect, you command it silently. And most importantly, you gain freedom. For as Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. By mastering sexual energy, you master yourself. And by mastering yourself, you unlock a life of clarity, strength, and unshakable peace. A call to the modern man. Ask yourself now, will I live as a slave to impulse, or as a master of my own destiny? The choice is yours. Every urge, every temptation, every moment of weakness is a test. And every time you choose discipline over indulgence, you grow stronger. Remember, the Stoics were not superhuman. They were ordinary men who chose extraordinary discipline. You can do the same. Let this be the beginning of your journey towards Stoic mastery of sexual energy. Closing words. If this message resonates with you, remember, wisdom grows when it is shared. So if you found value in this documentary, like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for the next episode where we dive deeper into Stoicism and its power to transform the modern man. Until then, hold fast. Stay strong. And remember the timeless words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.